more than 400 patients are treated as Tzu Chi volunteers return to Hohutla to host free clinic. 5 firemen and 2 migrant workers killed in a fatal fire in a factory. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. As previously mentioned, Mexico's Jojutla was one of the areas that were affected by a massive earthquake last year. Tzu Chi volunteers returned to this city to hold a free clinic. This time, they provided the services of acupuncture, dentistry, and family medicine. On the first day of the event, more than 400 patients were treated.
Today we will conduct a free medical clinic for the earthquake survivors of Jojutla. The team consists of acupuncturists, dentists, and family medicine physicians. Even though we have been hard at work, I didn't get much sleep, but we are here ready to serve.
I arrived on the early morning of the 23rd. We're getting prepared, all the equipment we need for this event.
My wife told me that there were doctors coming and I wanted to come. I have really bad knee pain. The treatments were excellent and the doctors are very good. They pay attention to me and are like specialists, the best of the best. They injected me with medication and gave me some more to take home. Yes, the treatment hurt, but I truly believe that it will help me.
I felt a very slight peak. It didn't really hurt. When the needles were removed, I didn't even notice. I didn't feel much pain.
Today my knees were buckling underneath me. I couldn't walk properly. They injected me with the medications and also gave me a shot in my right shoulder. They are all very kind, very good people. I'm very thankful for the free medical care today because I am poor, thanks to the foundation.
They treated me very well, and I'm very happy and grateful that the foundation came to our town. Thank you for your help and teaching us about the spirits of great love. Thank you.
Volunteers also helped to construct the collapsed school in Jojutla, including the Morelos Institute. Teachers and students expect that the reconstruction can be completed by the day of the school's 75th anniversary.
Hoy nos juntamos con la Madre Adelina y la Madre Superiora.
Today we met up with Morelos Institute staff members, Principal Adelina and Supervisor Marta, to talk about the possibility of reconstructing the school.
Yo no salgo de mi admiración. Le preguntaba.
I was full of admiration. I asked Celia, what is the reason that you want to help us? She answered that it was due to education for the children. They need a safe place and quality education to continue on.
En esta reunión estamos profundizando
In the meeting, we bounded and evaluated what possibilities there are in working together for the reconstruction of the school. The staff members show us a model of what they would like for the final project.
Ellos nos hablaban ya.
They already talked to us about concrete projects. We met with an architect who offered to draw up the blueprints for us, and that is what we are presenting to Tzu Chi. This consists of the actual construction project's ideas, the blueprints, and expected budgets.
Todos estamos dando al prójimo.
We're giving to others, working hard to help them, because the sisters have dedicated their whole lives in helping those who are in need. This is why we need to support them.
Tengo fe.
I have faith. I have faith that the Morelos Institute will be standing and functioning again. It will be able to provide services and educate the population. I have faith that we will celebrate 75 years of service with the reconstruction of the school, which can continue to provide much-needed services to so many children and young people. As for Tzu Chi, the only thing that I can offer you is my deepest gratitude and eternal prayers for the foundation to continue to do the good deeds that they have been doing up until now.
A fatal fire at Jinpeng factory in Taoyuan's Pingzhen district on April 28th burned over 20 hours due to many flammable materials in the factory. The fire claimed 7 lives, including 5 firemen and 2 foreign laborers, as well as injuring 7. Taoyuan City Mayor arrives on the scene to pay condolences to the family of the deceased and promised to give the highest benefits. A deadly blaze burns aggressively, and the firemen risk their life to try to put out the fire.
We went into the fire right away, but during our rescue mission, we found that there are massive flammable materials stored in the factory, so we can hear explosions while the firemen carry out their job.
Jinpeng called the fire department for help on 9:26 p.m. April 28th. The firemen immediately went into the factory to try to put out the fire, but 5 firemen suddenly went missing at 10:26 p.m. With the fire growing stronger, everyone on the scene was very nervous. By 4:53 a.m. the next morning, the 5 firefighters were found, but it was already too late.
这一次的事件，我也看到了我们消防同仁。
During this incident, I saw all the firemen had tears in their eyes when they finally rescued their brothers. About the death benefits, we'll definitely give them the highest standard benefits.
那针对抚恤的部分，那么采取最高的标准来抚恤。
The 5 firemen who were killed in the fire were Lin Boting, You Boyu, Yu Jiashen, You Yaoyang, Li Hanling, and 2 migrant workers from Thailand were also dead, and they all showed no signs of life when they were found. Also, the 31-year-old Liu Zhongyu is receiving intubation in Military Taoyuan General Hospital. The 22-year-old Lin Weishi has recovered his breathing and heartbeats after installing the ECMO, but is still in a critical state at Taiwan Lansi Hospital. This fire has lasted over 20 hours as the mayor, Zheng Wencan, announced to start a thorough investigation can allow the causes to be transparent to the public in order to give the family members of the dead an answer. At the fire spot, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived right away to distribute hundreds of masks and milk, as well as 50 Jingsi folding beds for the firemen to rest. Volunteers also went to the funeral home to host prayer services, hoping the deceased can rest in peace. At the funeral home, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding their hands together to pray for the dead. The mourning home for the 5 firemen who were killed in the fire has been set up. Volunteers try to comfort their family members as they are drenched in deep sorrow.
We're visiting them here to give them our care and comfort the families, as well as giving condolence funds.
Many volunteers in the home were at the fire spot to assist the rescue mission and then immediately come to the mourning hall to help out. Volunteers not only care for their families, but also the firemen who battle with the fire all night. The truck delivers many Jingsi folding beds, considering that many firemen have been exhausted to put off the fire all night and have no energy left at noon. The Jingsi folding beds allow them to finally lie down and take a good rest. In addition, fearing that the fire causes many toxic gases in the air, volunteers not only give out masks for everyone at the fire spot, they also bring milk for the firefighters as soon as they get there.
We came here around 5 or 6 a.m. this morning. We provided about 200 breakfasts and also about 295 masks.
Tzu Chi volunteers give out aids as well as comforts at the fire spot and the mourning hall. They are also praying with the family and hoping their companionship can help them to grieve less painfully for the beloved ones they've lost. Tzu Chi volunteer Xu Kaifeng became paralyzed in a car accident where his limbs started to atrophy day by day. Despite his hardship, he overcame his physical disability to achieve his goals. He was recently invited to share his life story to encourage the visually impaired patients at the Institute for the Blind of Taiwan.
Tzu Chi volunteer Xu Kaifeng has been invited to the Institute for the Blind of Taiwan to share his life story. Sitting in a wheelchair, he also goes into the audience to let everyone touch his atrophied hands. In 1995, Xu Kaifeng became paralyzed because of a car accident. causing him to develop depression. Thanks to his wife's company as well as Tzu Chi volunteers' care, he no longer complains about his misfortune.
But I cannot stay at home every day doing nothing just because I haven't recovered from the illness. After 3 months or half a year, we should tell ourselves that we should do something. So it's a wise decision that you came here today.
Mr. Shi's every word is not only treasure but also encouragement to the audience.
No matter how fast the time goes, as long as we continue, we will definitely reach the places we want to go.
I'm more boldly able than him because I don't have any problems with my limbs. I only have poor vision, so I believe that I will have more opportunities ahead of me.
While being able to see some hope, one can also foresee his or her happiness in the future.
The Lincoln Mansion disaster was an important turning point in Taiwan's history when it comes to regulating hillside development. After 28 people lost their lives, government agencies quickly revised laws and regulations to make sure such a disaster would never happen again. Unfortunately, data from the Ministry of the Interior show that there are about 1,046 large-scale residential areas in Taiwan built according to old construction methods, which may be at risk.
You can see that the handrail and the stairs, the whole structure has separated and could collapse. From below, you can see that the whole structure has already shifted and is leaning.
This community park is built on a hillside. From the stairs, you can see that many pieces are broken and crumbling. Cheap housing prices and beautiful scenery have drawn lots of people here, but the entire area is quite dilapidated.
You can see from this exposed rebar that there is some very serious displacement and cracking.
The cement wall has been in disrepair for a long time. It is so bad that the steel rebar is now exposed. Should a child run into it, the situation would be very dangerous. Out of desperation, a steel bar was inserted to prevent collapse, but no one knows how long this will last. The hillside community is Taipei Xiaocheng, which was built just 30 years ago. The cost of 3 square meters is less than $6,000, which is very affordable in New Taipei City. Many people like Guo Renzi grew up with their parents in this neighborhood, but now much of it can't be used because many of these buildings don't meet building code, as they're called old Type C buildings.
Before the Building Act, there were few relevant requirements. For example, there was no requirement for soil and water conservation, and there was no fire code. Basically, these two old buildings don't meet these two regulations.
These old Type C buildings were constructed before the Hillside Development Act took effect in 1983. Compared to current hillside development covered by current regulations, these old buildings didn't need to apply for approval to build in the hillside and did not need to implement soil and water conservation measures. This has led to a number of safety problems.
You are asking me if some of these old hillside buildings are built over fault lines. Yes, this is true. Such before the Lincoln Mansion incident, there were no regulations like this.
Old buildings with inadequate soil and water conservation measures and poor construction methods can be seen on many hillsides. New Taipei City's Xiaocheng community is just one example. There's really a river in front of these houses. This image was recorded on a cell phone, as many sidewalks and public roads had turned into rivers. This is because of poor drainage leading to such flooding. Residents were curious why nothing was done, as regulations at the time are quite confusing. And even some of these public projects are controlled by private developers.
30 years ago, the law did not stipulate public construction was to be specially designated, so that developers did not need to divide this area, as it was just held under their name.
If tenants want to remodel their old homes, they have to apply for a construction license and have to undertake relevant soil and water conservation facilities and pay back into a hillside protection fee in accordance to relevant laws and regulations.
They will receive an official document which asks them to first pay into this compensation fund. This means that if you follow the law, you must first pay money, which discourages them to do this construction.
是要直接违建。
Scholars said that Taiwan's household vacancy rate is so high, but people are still rushing to mountainous areas, which is a type of paradox created by high property prices. Unfortunately, this is endangering the security of the country, as we need to be prepared and do your homework before making such a risky housing purchase.
Tima Central Chapter hosts regular free clinic in Jojutla Township of Miaoli. A volunteer Tzu Chi is always present to help out. Meanwhile, Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital held a community health checkup. Let's see.
Upon seeing the doctor and medical volunteers at the monthly free clinic, Mr. Shi and his wife could not stop talking. The doctor always reminds them to take their medicine on time. Over the years, volunteer Zhen Xiumei always comforts the patients at the free clinics in Jojutla Township of Miaoli.
I've realized that one feels helpless when he falls ill. Therefore, I told myself, after I got well, I must work hard to serve people who suffer from illnesses.
Since she has also suffered from illness, she can relate to the patients. Therefore, she has vowed to do her best to serve patients. Meanwhile, staff of Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital is holding a health checkup at Tanzi Health Center. At the occasion, a nurse intern also learns to give of herself.
The senior nurse has taught me a lot. When I do things right, she praises me. However, when I make mistakes, she does not scold me, but she encourages me.
By holding the community health checkup, the staff of Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital can better help residents prevent illness and safeguard their health.
Tima Northern Chapter hosts free clinic in瑞芳 every 2 months. They encounter a boat captain who has been helped by Tzu Chi volunteers in El Salvador when he was sick. The connection has never stopped. He was almost dying, but now his body condition is recovering well. Mr. Chen, who was once an ocean steamer captain, had aortic dissection when he was working in El Salvador. It was because of Tzu Chi's help he was able to save his life.
We were not in touch with Tzu Chi at all, but they helped me while I'm all alone abroad and care for me. I'm really grateful.
The medical team and volunteers take the chance during the free clinic to visit Mr. and Mrs. Chen to check on his medication usage as well as giving advices for the rehabilitation.
Now my husband is much better and he's able to walk, but his student didn't have much energy. However, I keep on encouraging him and he's tried hard to learn to walk again.
The every other month瑞芳 free clinic is often joined by many medical team members from Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. This time they visit Liu Huiyi, who suffers from Wilson's disease, because volunteers prepare a gift for her.
The sister prepared a cake for Huiyi to give to her mother to thank her for her love. Come, Huiyi is giving this cake to mother. Everyone applause. What you want to say to your mother? Happy Mother's Day, right?
The 55-year-old Lin Ya-yang has injured his spine for years and he had installed an artificial stomach. The medical team's visitation not only reminds him to take care of himself daily, but most importantly to relieve his loneliness for living alone.
To control the illness is not like we can give him obvious help in such a short time. However, if more people care about his sickness or explain to him some of his physical conditions, he might feel more warmth.
Volunteers and team members give their most sincere care. They not only treat the patients medically, but also provide spiritual support. In Vancouver, Canada, a team of Chinese medicine doctor went to visit the indigenous population in Seabird Island Band. They've treated approximately 1,000 people, and it has been a huge success in helping the region in their long-term medical needs.
Around 2-hour car ride from the Tzu Chi Canada office, you can reach the Seabird Island Band. It is not really an island, but actually just located in a remote area. The tribal chief is very grateful for last year's Tzu Chi free clinic services.
Due to history, many people would resist Western medicine. They accept TCM service, which emphasizes natural therapy and mutual existence of human and nature.
A village of 1,000 people is in need of doctors. They are amazed by the acupuncture performed by TCM doctors.
Right here, I come right here, and then I can go
and touch.
That's much better.
There was a 92-year-old grandmother who came to the free clinic. Thanks to the free clinic doctors, she was able to see for the very first time in years.
There needs to be a distance established for her to see clearer. This will help her to start making sense of the words.
Starting in May, Tzu Chi's TCM doctors will serve at the local clinic on 2 Wednesdays in a month. By doing so, they hope to safeguard the health of the indigenous population of Canada.
The DaAi Mobile Food Pantry of Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters goes to Indian Spring High School in San Bernardino County to distribute vegetables and fruits. Many people in the volunteer vest are from minority families, but they're happy to be the one to serve first. DaAi Mobile Food Pantry comes into Indian Springs High School monthly, and there are more and more local volunteers wearing yellow vests. There are also many strongmen. You teach me and I lead you. Many volunteers have participated many times, so they are familiar with the mobile line. Pina and her son was one of the food distribution receivers, but this month they are here to serve others.
The last time I put my name, my number, and they called me, so I came over here. I helped them, and oh my God, I'm so grateful. My heart is full of love. My heart is full of happiness to help you guys.
Wearing the glasses she received from Tzu Chi, Graciela has joined to be a volunteer for many times. Before receiving her own food, she serves first. She even chooses to give blessing to others on the day of her birthday.
And really it's a lot of people to get in food, and I enjoy everything. So today I come again here to help again to the people because I like a lot and I enjoy to helping people.
Volunteers in San Bernardino are bilingual, humble, attentive, and passionate. Tzu Chi has planted seeds of goodness and love here, and it continues to grow. In the United States, San Diego Earth Fair is the largest free annual environmental fair in the world. It draws about 60,000 visits every year. Let's join Tzu Chi volunteers there.
All kinds of origami works attract people to the Tzu Chi stall. The children are excited as the Tzu Chings and Tzu Shao share the steps in making origami works.
So right now we're currently teaching people how to reuse, reduce, and recycle. So we're teaching them how to use everyday items like paper or magazines, and we can fold them up into origami and use them for different purposes.
Tzu Chi volunteers have joined the San Diego Earth Fair for the 11th year. They've made the posters to promote the ideas of reduce, reuse, and recycle.
In the past, we've used straws and cups at restaurants, and that was fine. Recently, my child told me, "Mom, let's stop using straws so we can reduce the amounts of garbage."
Taking care of our earth and not using plastic and trying to make our world a better place.
To protect the environment, San Diego Earth Fair continues to raise people's environmental awareness.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Oakland, Northern California, provides medical services for the low-income residents. We will leave you with these images, and thank you for joining us.